my new, to me, 2007 Infiniti M35X. It is all-wheel drive. I just bought it from somebody on Facebook Marketplace. As you can see, it's already tore apart. I did not do that. All the parts are laying over there. Guy got a little in over his head. It was his wife's. Had an overheating issue, and if I remember correctly, he said he swapped thermostat, didn't fix it, and went on to a water pump, realized how much work it involved, and stopped. Valve covers have been removed, intake plenum, all the timing cover bolts have been removed. He never ended up getting to taking off the harmonic balance and removing the cover. At that point, he just said, I'm done. Never worked on one of these before, so this is going to be a learning lesson for me. Honestly, everything's a learning lesson for me. I'm going to see if I can find some information to try and figure out how all these bits and pieces go back together. Some of it is obviously pretty self-explanatory, but there's a few plastic pieces that I'm going to have to see where they go. It did come with an entire Rock Auto timing kit, which obviously involved all your timing chains, tensioners, guides, and a water pump. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I might end up putting a water pump on it from that kit and just putting it all back together to see, because at the end of the day, this car's got 200,000 miles on it, and I don't even know if the motor is good. The guy says it was, but I can't take his word. But we'll go from there and see what we can get accomplished. This gives y'all an idea. Probably gonna look over it, make sure there's no dirt in it. Clean it up a little bit more. It does look like he took all those bolts off, so I have an entire bag in the car that he put them in. That's the bag of bolts. So no organization whatsoever, so I'll have to figure out where all those goes. I do have a 240, so I could tell that some of these are valve cover bolts and all that. I'm assuming that's probably miscellaneous hardware to hold them down, and maybe these are going to be your main timing cover bolts, maybe alternator, bracket bolts. Oh, I see a socket in there, but we'll find out. Alright, well, I got the harmonic balancer off. Definitely looks like it's been leaking from that front crank seal. So, if anybody wants to know, it's a 19mm to take that off. Well, I didn't think I was going to have to take the lower oil pan off to get this timing cover off. I was trying to take it off the other day when I was working on it, and for some reason it just was not coming off. Couldn't figure out why. So I was like, let me pause before I break something. And sure enough, hopefully I can get away with dropping that lower oil pan and accessing the two bolts that are on the bottom here. But I'll find out. So I'm going to go ahead and just start draining that oil. It looks like I won't have to touch the subframe at all. because it looks like they have access holes where you can get to a couple of the bolts that are above the subframe that are on the oil pan. So hopefully I won't have to do anything else besides drop that lower pan. Well, the oil pan bolts, they were 10 millimeters. I think there was like 8, something like that. I could tell you, let's see, 8 or 9. I don't know if that's what really stopped them, because I noticed that a few of these front ones, the oil pan bolts, were loosened. So, I mean, we'll find out where he stopped and why. I mean, I feel like if he would have got this far, why give up now? But I got them all off. I'm going to go ahead and see if I could tell if that oil pan's been removed or not. I mean, it didn't seem to fall down. I feel like once you break a seal on RTD, because it looks like that's all it's holding it there is RTD. But if the seal's already broke, then that's not where he stopped, which means that maybe these 2 timing cover bolts aren't as easy as I would have thought. But we'll see. Those are the lower oil pan bolts. I'm sorry, not the lower oil pan bolts. The lower timing cover bolts that go through the bottom, but I was able to access them. So, and that oil pan did not feel like it had been removed. So, I am kind of curious if the guy thought he was going to have to jack the motor up to access those bolts that were above the subframe, and that's why he gave up. Theoretically, this should come off now. Oh my God. I can't even look at it. Well, I could have had that off probably 5-10 minutes sooner. I thought I had taken out the 2 bolts holding the timing cover to the oil pan. I did take out one, but there's one right next to this one that holds the timing cover to the oil pan, and I took that one out and not this one. You know what's funny is I looked real quick and I saw, I was like, okay, nothing. And I come back up, keep trying to pry, and I'm like, man, it shouldn't be this hard. So get back down there, get all the way under, and yep, I pulled the wrong bolt. So I got it off. I won't lie, I did scar it up a little bit. It's not terrible, but it isn't great. Obviously, I'm just gonna use a die grinder, sealer on there and stuff, and it should be fine. But yeah, that was not bad, honestly. Alright, so watch the video. I saw the timing marks. That right here is supposed to line up with that line, which it does. Then you have a dot right up here. That lines up with that notch here. Same thing here. Dot, notch, line. And then from here, got it lined up. And then, where's my dot? That's my dot. Alright, so I got those gears off up top. Not too bad. I'm watching a Cloy's YouTube video, since they do have a how-to that is tied with the kit that the previous owner had bought. So I can't film and watch that video at the same time. He says to put a paper clip, which obviously is typical, put paper clip in tensioners to hold them down, and then you should be able to slide them off easily. I just used the screwdriver to just pry this left gear off just a little bit to give it enough slack to pass by that. This one wasn't as hard, but still the same problem. You know, it's got a little bit of a lip, which the guy in the video did use a small screwdriver. I saw him for a minute there using a screwdriver to pry that chain a little bit up to pass that lip on that tensioner. So far this is it. Next in his video, we removed the solenoids up top, remove this cap, this cam cap that runs all across here. You're supposed to remove that as well to get to everything. Alright, got the tensioners off. They are Allen head. They were a size 5mm, and it's 2 bolts holding them both on, or each. And then I did forget to say, just in case y'all want sizes, to take this guide off, it does require an Allen head as well, size 8. So pretty much got it all taken apart, but we definitely need to clean this up. I gotta fix that cheap old Harbor Freight compressor. Keep blowing a reed valve on it, so bought some new ones. Alright. Got the surfaces cleaned up the best I could. Couldn't get my compressor to work, but it doesn't look too bad. There's obviously some scuffs you can see right there, sadly. It's not that, like I said, RTV, it's going to solve a big part of that, so I'm not worried about it. Guy took out the water pump. There's some scuffs there, but again, not terrible. But I got it all cleaned up. There are some areas back here that you're going to have to clean on the back side. So, got to make sure that's done. I got the cover cleaned up as best I could with the grooves. Got the seal pulled out. And then got the back cleaned up. Also got these cleaned up. So that's the ending to part 1. We do have a part 2 coming up where we start to put it all back together. I got everything tore down in this video. Got it all cleaned up for the most part that's going into it. I was going to put more pieces together for this video, just showing the process of starting to put it back. However, the Rock Auto kit that the previous owner purchased for this car, that came with it when I bought it, brand new in the box from Cloy's, packaged wrong. So I think it had, if I remember correctly, the wrong tensioner and the wrong guide. They got numbers swapped around. So I had to end up ordering some parts from O'Reilly, as well as online anyways, that I needed to get. I also ended up having to go to the dealer for a couple other things, but you'll see that in part 2. At the end of the day, you know, the whole goal is to get this thing put together and see if it's going to be a good running car. I know the previous owner's ex-wife had gotten that interior redone, the seats. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you could always part it out and make money off of those parts. But my whole goal is wanting to fix vehicles. You know, sometimes you're going to lose, sometimes you win. You'll see in part 2 us putting it all back together. And if y'all have any questions, concerns, or anything on this video, let me know. I know I'm not perfect, but, you know, it's always good to have pointers or anything that y'all might recommend, or maybe I could do better. I always love to learn, so we'll keep going.